Browns on the practice field again today here in Berea for the second time since returning from the Greenbrier, and they got a little bit of a scare when Za'Darius Smith was carted off the field. He rode off in the passenger side of a cart. Now we've come to find out it was a left knee contusion. He's going to be re-evaluated on Tuesday morning, but Mary Kay, still a scare for Za'Darius, especially for a team that, of course, we know last year was ravaged by injury.
It really was a scare. We watched him getting carted off. He was in obvious pain. And then when we watched some of the video clips, you can see that he's grabbing his left knee, wincing in pain on the ground. It did not look good. And whenever you have to bring the cart out, that's always something that you have to really kind of worry about. But if it really is just a left knee contusion, that means he probably shouldn't miss any length of time. And hopefully for the Browns, he'll be back by that opener.
Yeah, that's the good news, Ashley. We're so far away from the opener still. There's plenty of time for him to recover from something like that. But really for Z, it kind of stinks because he had so much momentum. You wrote about it on Monday morning. His energy was so high. He's really become one of the leaders of that young defensive line group.
Yeah, energy, I think, has been the first word I think of when I think of Za'Darius Smith over these last few weeks. I mean, we've seen it at every practice. You're going to hear Z. You're going to see him dancing. You're going to see him coaching up some of the younger edge rushers they have on this team, like Alex Wright, who I know he praised really heavily yesterday when he talked to us as well. So definitely a blow even just to lose him from that standpoint. And obviously we all know how good he is. He talked yesterday at length about pushing for double-digit sacks, which he got in 3 of his prior 4 years before he came to Cleveland. So hopefully he'll be back out there soon for their sake.
And, of course, we'll mention Sam Kamara, who earned high praise from Jim Schwartz today, has been playing well also on special teams. He left today's practice. So the Browns, as they head into that first preseason game against Minnesota, they're running short on some defensive linemen. And also, Mary Kay, in some other areas at linebacker, Jordan Hicks, who is supposed to be your starting Mike, he left practice yesterday, and he did not practice today.
Right, so they're a little bit thin at linebacker right now, so much so that they might actually have to look around for a guy or two there because JOK is out with, I've come to find out, is back spasms. And then you've got Tony Fields, who's out with a lower leg injury. So the defender injuries are sort of starting to pile up. As we know, Delvin Tomlinson is out right now after having undergone a knee scope, and Greg Newsome underwent hamstring surgery. So there's a lot of defenders right now that are sort of sidelined, and they only have about a month before the season starts.
Now, there was some good news on the injury front. Elijah Moore was back doing individual drills. Jerry Jeudy's still practicing, Ashley. He was doing individual drills today, too.
Yeah, so we did get a chance to see Elijah after, obviously, we were talking about the other day, him possibly being in the concussion protocol and working his way through that. So good to see him out here early. Jerry not in team drills again. So it's interesting because we still, I feel like, haven't really gotten any chances to see this wide receiver core at full strength in training camp. So really still something we're waiting for, even though Jerry returned to practice yesterday, made it in those team drills, and Elijah came back today.
Yeah, and Mary Kay, with just a couple more practices left this week, you never know with concussions. It's good to see Elijah Moore back out there so quickly, but still, they're going to be careful with both of those guys. I don't know if we'll see this full passing game on display this week.
Yeah, you probably won't. I don't know that they will actually play Elijah coming out of the concussion protocol, which he was cleared for practice today, not necessarily cleared from the concussion protocol. There is a little bit of a distinction there. And then Jerry, he's still ramping up, as we mentioned. So I don't know if those guys will play. We won't see the full offense on Saturday.
One other thing. So you see behind us this facility that's remodeled. You might notice that it looks different. So we got to take a tour of the weight room today and kind of see all the new things the Browns have done there. It's on the south end of their indoor practice facility, which they've reconfigured. So the weight room is no longer taking up a bunch of space in there. They have a little more room to practice in there. But, Ashley, we got to see this weight room. What was the thing that stood out to you?
I think it's probably these OxFit strengthening machines that they have, which, I don't know, if you're into fitness, think of like the tonal screen, where it's basically this giant screen, but it has all kinds of ways to adjust resistance, to train your body, select the body part you want to focus on. It films your workout so you can watch your reps. I think to me that was like maybe the biggest thing that stood out on the strengthening side, and the Browns said they have the most of these OxFit machines of anyone across the NFL. It's kind of new territory for the league.
Mary Kay, what stood out to you kind of walking through the 3 floors that they showed us?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. It's so state-of-the-art, so different than I was here when I was here working in the early 90s, my goodness. But the thing that stood out to me the most were these experiential rooms. They have these walk-through rooms inside, 2 huge 25-foot screens and almost a small little field in front of them where you can put it right there on the grass with plays on the screen in front of you. This is the way the video game generation learns. They learn visually. They don't like to be sitting in a chair taking notes, and now they can be up on their feet learning both physically and visually.
Yeah, I thought that was cool too. And then for me, I mean, look, it's not all work, right? All work and no play make Jack a dull boy. Isn't that the line from The Shining? They have a golf simulator. They have a video game room, like a player's lounge. So, they're trying to take care of these guys holistically here at the facility. And it was really cool to kind of see how the Browns are trying to find that high-tech edge to help these guys out on Sundays. We'll cover it all. We've got video, photos of that. We've got the latest on Za'Darius Smith, what we saw at practice. It's all at cleveland.com/Browns.